everyone to the Wandering Dragonflies podcast.
I'm Mandy.
And I'm Emily.
And we're happy that you're here with us today. We're coming at you both through Spotify and through YouTube, through video.
We are going to be discussing today a book that we read called A Bakery in Paris by Aimie K. Runyan.
I think last week it was enlightening for both of us to edit our video, and I know for myself, seeing us, drink our own beverages, it's definitely different because when we first started our podcast, we were only behind the microphone, and so definitely going behind the camera feels different. So
definitely. We judge ourselves way more than
yes. So we're hoping that some of our personalities came through last time, but I think I'm excited that this time hopefully we're a little bit more relaxed and much more Mandy and Emily.
Yes.
I definitely came off very newscaster for sure. And I think today you'll definitely see more Mandy because we are going to be trying some good eats today.
Yes.
And how come?
We took our favorite recipes from the book that we would like to try. We will say that we are no French baker, and they are amazing because I don't have really the patience or the time to do a lot of these. And you messaged me like, this one's taking 3 days. So some of it we did buy. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. We did purchase. I purchased French macarons. My son calls them macarons. I call them macaroons. So sorry if we botched the wording, but we do have a wonderful baker here in our hometown that makes the legit French macarons, and it's called Voila Macarons.
Yeah.
And so a little shout out to her, and they are flavored with all different types. There's a espresso one I found. There's a raspberry, pistachio, orange, and lemon. And then I created the chocolate chaud that she made. I followed the recipe that she had. It is like a hot chocolate, but I call it the chocolate soup.
This baby's thick.
Wow. And it has espresso in it.
It's
delicious. I pulled a Suki, if you follow Gilmore Girls, and chopped my finger chopping the chocolates. I'm like, I'm okay. My husband's like, are you bleeding to death? I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's just a finger. But I got a cool Band-Aid with doggy bones. But yes, so you get to dip
the so
cookies
good.
And breads in it. So Mandy, what did you make?
Well, again, I didn't make it because like Emily said, I really did want to make it. I do like to bake. I love to bake. Emily loves to bake. But when I went into the process, and actually the book even talks about it too, which we'll get into, the French, they really know their stuff. Like it's, I aspire to go to Paris and go to the different boulangeries and patisseries, and I just want to eat all the things though. If you're especially a woman in our age range, which I'm not going to say, but if you watch our first podcast, you'll get
you're welcome.
You'll get a glimpse into what that age range might be, just based off of how long we've been friends. But anyway, the process, it takes a long time, so I really do appreciate when I'm eating these delicacies now, just how much work goes into them. So I have chocolate croissants, and also want to give a shout out to the bakery that came from Ardor, and they are delicious. So I love going there, and they're a local bakery as well. So shout out to the delightful items that they make. Unfortunately, Emily's not able to eat them.
So I do have celiac disease. So for any other followers that know, that is why I was able to make this, because this took 7 minutes. There's no flour, no gluten, or anything in that. So I can have that, and I can have the macarons. We did sneak some little white gluten-free vanilla wafers to dip in the chocolate chaud, so I could have that. I will not be trying the croissants, sadly.
So all this to say that when we edited the first video, we had some good giggles laughing at ourselves seeing how we drink on film. I can't wait to see what we're going to look like eating on film. So this is going to be...
I tend to drop things.
I am the messiest eater.
She is pretty messy, I will say that. I think she's rubbed off on me a little bit as I've gotten older, because even my husband would be like, you pulled a Mandy.
Yeah. When you are a verb, that's not good, so, yeah. So
don't mind us.
Even way back in one of my old places that I worked, we had a special event, and they didn't want my clothes to get dirty, so they cut a hole in a garbage bag and had me wear a garbage bag. So
we probably should have wore chocolate colored tops instead of light colored
tops.
Well,
I wore light colored tops so that if I, got powdered sugar all over me, I'd be okay. But I mean,
we are having lots of chocolate.
So those on Spotify, if you want to see how this goes down,
check us out on YouTube.
Okay, so we thought we'd wanted to come up with our own, fun little gig that we do at the beginning of our videos. And so the first thing that we want to do is we want to judge the book by its cover. Yes. Everybody always says not to judge the book by its cover.
But it's so hard.
But let's be real. We all do. Especially, when we see some of those, book subscriptions. I mean, I'm in one. And I might have signed up for some more wait lists. When you see some of those pretty books, you're like, I gotta have it.
Yeah. They with the foil, and then now with all that printing on the side, that's so pretty. I may or may not have bought a couple books yesterday, just because I loved how they looked.
See, and though we try really hard. I'll pick up a book, and the back of it'll sound interesting, and I'll be like, I really should get this, and sometimes I do, sometimes I do, but really, sometimes you do just have to get a good artist, because we be out here judging, man.
Yeah,
we are.
Sorry. We try. I tell my kids we don't judge people by the cover. Yeah. You look at somebody, you don't
but
judge.
The books,
books. They look at me.
We want them to
they
look
have
pretty.
judged. They have judged me when we go to the store, and they're like, "Hey, Mama, why are you buying that?" And they're teenage boys, and I'll be like, "It looks so pretty," and they're like, "You always told us not to do that." I'm like, "But it's pretty in a book." I'm not doing that to people. I promise you. Get to know them, but then you read the book,
yes.
And sometimes I will say that I'm glad I've done that. Yes. Because sometimes it's a book that I just want to put on my shelf.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. I mean, look at these. That is just amazing. Yeah. I may not have typically been, it grabs you and it gets you into reading books that you normally would not
outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not a big fantasy reader. Now I read Iron Flame and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I do kind of think it's kind of a good thing to judge a little bit.
I agree. So we're going to start off by judging A Bakery in Paris's book cover. Mm-hmm. Emily, what are your thoughts?
I loved it. I love the dark green.
Yeah.
And all the pastries inside. When I found this book, it did gravitate towards me.
Yeah.
We were looking for books to read and stuff, and Mandy actually had picked out a couple. She's like, "What about this one or this one? This one looks really cute." And so I Googled what they were, and when I Googled this one, I was like, "Oh, I like it. It's simple, but it's something that I don't know. I just love the colors. I love that it looks. It is a historical fiction type of book, so it does bring that kind of look to it. So
I agree.
I do love that.
I think it hits the historical fiction. In my mind, I think obviously the green is meant to stand out because you all probably can't see this, or if you have the book, you'll understand why.
It a little closer, so this is
but,
just the cover, so.
But it kind of shows you all of the pastries are, and the Eiffel Tower are more muted colors, which to me kind of meant historic. That
it
equaled historic to me, past. It's meant to be
historical and old.
Looking. That's
not
what I
just
thought
like
in
a
my
modern
mind.
day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because you got the Eiffel Tower in the background and stuff like that. Yeah. And it just looks like a place I would love to go visit.
Yep.
I mean, as a celiac person, I probably shouldn't walk in there, but I may have to take my chances.
Like, do you have any
Sorry.
gluten-free options?
Now, I did hear that a lot of bakeries in Paris do offer gluten-free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
I thought that was really cool.
Then, the next hot topic that we want to bring moving forward to all of our podcasts, especially because we're a bestie podcast. I mean, everybody wants to dish out the juice, right? Emily, is this the type of book that you would feel comfortable leaving on your, coffee table if your guests came over?
Oh, yeah. There's other books, probably not so much. But yes, this is one that I would read in front of my kids, take to work and sit there. I'm a teacher, so I can't really sit and just read. But sometimes, like if I am going places, I carry a book with me everywhere I go. Yeah. I have that inner Rory Gilmore. So that's one that I would not have to have in my Kindle or in my purse. I could just carry it and share with people. Definitely.
I know. I think this is gonna be one of my favorite parts to talk about. Like,
because there's books that you just don't.
You want to talk about it with your mama, your grandma, like
your grandma. There was a book, I'm not gonna lie, I was reading, and it was just like a rainy, stormy day.
Yeah. And
I was reading it, and then I was like, even though my kids can't see what I'm reading, I was looking, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even feel comfortable reading this in front of my kids.
Oh gosh.
So there are times where you
That's
even sit
so
there and be
funny.
like, okay, you know what? I think I'm just going to pick a different book right now.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. Or when you're in a public space, like if you've ever traveled alone or you're on an airplane alone, and even when you have your Kindle, you're kind of wondering, like, is the person next to me trying to read what I'm reading? Because, like...
How many times have you been, like, we'll go to the boys' track meets, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see someone, like, down there reading a book, and you're not sitting there going...
What are they reading?
So you like look over.
And then you're like, ooh.
So then I bring it because you sit. How long do you sit at a track meet without seeing the kids run?
Hours.
Maybe let my son run 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
But we sit there for 2 to 3 hours waiting.
Yeah.
So we read, and I was reading this book at one of the track meets.
Track meets,
sitting there,
the perfect
like,
opportunity to read, ladies.
Right? And a Kindle. So that's one reason why I was like, I need a
Who
Kindle.
knew? Wait now.
And then all of a sudden I'm reading it, and I'm like, there are people behind me. And now I'm feeling awkward to have that page out.
Yes.
Because there's things that I don't want them to know about me.
Yep.
I am the PTO president. I should probably close it.
Yes. But for all those here, a bakery in Paris is safe. It's coffee table safe. Mm-hmm. So to keep moving forward, from this point on...
Sorry. It's really good.
I know. Okay, seriously though. What is with this age bracket as well? Like, you know, if we drink this, we're gonna gain 5 pounds. If we drink all this chocolate shod.
I mean, look at that pour. Like, that is just espresso, dark chocolate, and cream. And it's Ghirardelli. They told us to use top quality chocolates. So I did. And I don't know how much will be left by the time we're done with this podcast, because I'm going to be like, I love chocolate. Though they did say, FYI, you can put it in the fridge and it will stay for a few days and then just heat it up.
So drink it in moderation.
And you really can't drink it because it's like no straws.
Chew it.
I call it a soup, and I told my husband, because he loves chocolate.
So
you can't turn around. He cannot turn down chocolate. And I'm like, ooh, I think I'll make this. I have to make something from our book. And he's like, ooh, chocolate? And I'm like a macaron or something? And I was like, macaroon? And I was like, no, I'm going to make chocolate soup. And he goes, that's disgusting. How is that disgusting?
It's chocolate.
It's chocolate. Now he's going to be like, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he'll change his mind.
We'll see if there's any left, because...
Yeah, he'll change his mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward from here on out, Anything that we talk about is going to include spoilers. So that's why we try to warn you ahead of time what book we're going to be talking about. Give you little clips from time to time to give you advance notice so that you can grab a copy, read along with us, and then come along for the chat. Because we'd love for you to comment along.
Have an opportunity. And we try to give a 2-week time frame between the actual long podcasts. You'll see shorts, clips, and everything of things that we are doing within those 2 weeks to get ready, and other fun things that we're doing. But we want to give 2 weeks because we both are busy. And so we know how long it can take, even though if it's an amazing book, with life, it's hard to just sit down and read. So we try to give you ample time to be able to read the books so you can come and join us for our...
So, warning, now we're about to get into the spoilers. So if you haven't read it yet, come back and you can get caught up. If you have read it, let's keep moving forward.
Keep moving, and we want to hear your comments and your feelings on it too. Okay,
so... how our podcast process goes is we just, we talk through a question, ask a question, an insightful question, and then we just, have some book banter back and forth talking about our thoughts and feelings about it. So the first question is first of all.
She's going to judge me right now, aren't you? No?
Huh?
Okay, because I forgot my notes.
No! No, first of all, well, no. Well, she did. But...
I did, and I was just waiting. She's like, first of all, Emily didn't bring her homework.
No.
I'm sorry.
Well, she did. She's judging herself. But I was going to judge ourselves on if we butcher any names.
Oh, yes.
Please forgive us.
Please forgive us. If you're French,
I did take 2 years of French.
I took 1, and I am part French.
And, but... We're going to do our best. So, but again, in the comments, if you know how to pronounce it, let us know.
And we apologize if these are your names.
Yes.
I feel like we did.
I think we did decent. Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. So, I think one of the coolest things about this story or what drew it to me, because we each get a chance to pick a different story. That's how our process works. Emily picks one. And then I'll pick one, and then that's what we...
and this was your...
This was my choice. This one was the previous podcast was Emily's choice. And so I think with this one, it was 2 different time period perspectives. There we have Lisette, who is from the late 1800s, and then we have Micheline, is that how we'd say it? Who is in the late 1900s. That's how I said her name in my mind. So the first question is, how does Micheline's perspective on her role as a baker change from the beginning of the book to the end? And what do you think that says about her growth?
Well, so Micheline is in my opinion, her story is all about just after World War II. So the end of World War II, right after everything happened. And her father had died. Her mother has been missing, and she had been missing now for 2 years. And so for her, I felt like her perspective so it was kind of interesting. As a baker, she wasn't really baking very much because she was taking care of her younger sisters.
Yes.
And she wasn't going to. So then a family friend who lived in the apartments above the bakery said, your mother was running the bakery. You should do this. I think you would be great. I'm going to pay for you to go to the university to learn how to bake so you can take care of your sisters. She was hesitant. Like, she was kind of like, I don't know if I can. My mom will come back. And
yeah, she was grieving.
She was really grieving, and she was really struggling. And then as time went on, it started to grow. And you really do see her growth. You see how when she meets Laurent and she, and he's a huge, I feel like, he was the biggest part of her growth, because if she would not have met Laurent, I think she would have quit.
Yeah, same. I put that she was grieving. So in her mind, she's grieving. So to her in the beginning, baking felt something that it felt forced.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like she had to do it because, for the exact reasons Emily just mentioned, her mom's not there right now. She doesn't know if mom's coming back. She's not ready to believe mom's not coming back.
Right.
So it feels forced, and so she's feeling, because of the grief, there's a lot of frustrations going on, but over time, she starts to settle in. I think it's when she discovers Lizette's leather-bound book of her recipes and those helpful notes. Also with Laurent, that's how I said his name. I don't know. But when she meets, or when she really starts to work with him and he comes in and helps her, I think it's that combination of like great grandma helping her through her writing and him, where she really learns to take it slow. Because what did we all learn? What did I learn from trying to look up recipes? Yeah. They don't do anything fast. Yeah, and I think that's what she learned, and what her instructor kept trying to tell her is like, you need patience, you need to be slow. And when she's like reading these recipes from her great grandma, she's like, we need to be patient, put it on low, let it go slow,
let it chill for 4 hours.
Yes.
Like, and that's the thing, is I think she was struggling with slowing down because she was scared she was going to lose everything, and she was hoping her mom was going to come back. And so for her to have to slow down was a big thing for her, and that encouragement from Laurent and everything like that, I think, was huge.
I agree. So the next question, if you want to try to read my writing.
Lisette and Micheline are in many ways two sides of the same coin. How do you feel their journeys are similar, and how do they differ? How do Lisette's privilege and Micheline's lack thereof impact the stories?
So this was, I think one of the craziest things to me was just within the first couple of chapters, I was like, dang, Aimie, are we in 2026? Because she's talking about like how the billionaires hate everybody, like they're
oh my gosh, it was like everything that's happening right now.
Like,
yeah,
huh?
I was like, we picked this book to, ironically,
we picked this book to get away
to be from the chaos of the world today, and I like started reading it before she did, and I was like, good pick, Mandy.
I know, that was exactly my thoughts. I'm like, dang it. Text Emily, I'm like, shoot. Like, but let's keep going. But honestly, no regrets, because
it was really
I really enjoyed this book, which you'll find out. So in terms of the question, yes, they do come from two different sides of the same coin, because Lisette did come from privilege and came from a very wealthy family, whereas Micheline did not. However, it honestly felt the same for me in the book. And I don't know about you, Emily, but the reason why I say that is because, Lisette actually, she didn't feel like she was allowed to have opinions or feelings in her own home. And she really was raised more by her housemaid, Nanette. If that's what is that what they
Nanette,
call her?
yeah.
Nanette, like, or her, like,
that was her name, yeah.
Was she a housemaid? Is that what you would call
she
her
was,
role? Or she was like
Nanette was the chef, the cook, yeah.
Excuse me, the chef and that kind of thing. So she really grew up more in her shadow and her, like, her likeness. And she had a lot of empathy. Like, we saw when, I think it was Maria, I can't remember the names. Guys, we read too many books. We move on to other books, so it's hard to remember sometimes.
It's Marie, yeah.
But, she gets sick, and so Lisette goes out on her own, and then she ends up falling in love with, this is another name we don't know if it's Theo or Teo. I said know.
Theo because it's Theo, and his name is Theodore, right?
Uh-huh.
But Mandy then informed me today, she goes, but he's
French,
so Teo. She was calling him Teo, but I think
I don't know.
I thought Teo was Teo, but I could be wrong.
Know.
I don't know. So
help us out.
Another one.
So anyway, so she grows up in really Nanette's likeness, and due to that, she really ends up spending a good portion of her time in the same kind of upbringing as Micheline. In my eyes, they both have to work toward what they want and what they need in life in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, Lizette started out privileged, but it was her choice to do what she wanted to do. Micheline didn't have that choice, unfortunately, but so that was kind of my take on it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with some of that. I thought it was interesting. So, like Mandy said, Lizette had grew up with wealth, but she was raised more, and she even says, like, I was more with Nanette, and she was the one, but it was because her mother didn't take her in motherly. Like, it was more of, she was not the beauty queen. She was not the princess like her younger sister.
Child.
You know, she had freckles, so oh my goodness, she's not perfect in that. I mean, she sounded beautiful in my eyes. She, you know, that porcelain skin with the freckles and the red hair. And so that, I feel like a lot of people always assume, and when she left with Theo to go over to where he was living, his friends and everything kind of judged because she's wealthy, she's of that. But what a lot of people don't see is just because you come from there doesn't mean that they have a wealthy life.
Yeah.
And so I thought with Micheline, she grew up not with a lot of money, but with a wealthy type of lifestyle, because she was loved by her maman, is what they called her mother, and her dad, and her younger siblings, you know, looked up to her. So overall, I felt like in that they come from the same coin, is mainly, yes, their bloodline is the same, except for Lizette didn't get the same type of childhood growing up with affection and love and, you know, and stuff like that. But then she experienced the same type of poverty living. Oh my gosh, the espresso and chocolate. Living come in when she decided, I am actually more rich in life. Yeah. Living over here, and now this is the town I could not.
Oh gosh, we're gonna butcher the town name. Yeah.
Montmartre. It's outside of Paris, okay? Like, it's in Paris. Like, it's
just, you know, go to
if
Paris.
somebody knows this name, it's like one of the biggest issues I had with reading it is that I had to go over that name like
you just 15, gotta make it up in your
14
mind.
times, and I'm like, every
or
time I say, I'm like,
go,
blah, blah, blah. But
Montmartre?
Because it ends with a T-E. So I'm sorry. But when she moved there and she decided to stay, that's what I thought was really neat, is like,
yes,
you know, they really did end up having very similar but such different, you know, because everyone thinks, oh, they're so wealthy, they have it all, they have everything. And she did live away from all the really scary things that were happening with World War I.
Yep.
Like, she was in this really bougie part of town where they didn't go. You know, the rich were not touched. Yeah. And so when she snuck out and realized, wait, I'm not this, you know, there's so much more happening. I can't even get flour. I can't go to the store and get this. Like, that was huge. Yeah. So, I don't know, kind of rambling. But that's what I felt like when it came to both of them.
Okay, next question. Lizette and Micheline come to baking through different paths. For Lizette, it's an escape, and for Micheline, it's a necessity and a duty. How does this impact their relationship with the bakery?
So, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, Micheline came later. So Lizette, the bakery was her new start. the bakery it was kind of a new start for Micheline later, but the bakery came from Lizette. She lived there with Theo. They were losing it. They were going to lose everything. She took her ex-fiance. We're going to do that because, and his name started with a G. Not Gaston.
No.
It was
it
G.
Jor?
It was
No,
Guard. It was Guard. Do you have it written down?
No. He didn't come up as one of the main characters.
Yeah, so it starts with a G.
The gentleman who was supposed to
Gaspard.
be...
Gaspard.
Yeah,
Gaspard, that's what I called him. Gave her this beautiful green ring, and so she traded it in, had all this money, and she bought it to start because she loved to bake. That's what she was raised doing from Nanette. And so for her, I felt like it was a true escape of the life that she had before, the way from not feeling loved and wanted from her family, not being forced to marry a man that she did not love. And then for Micheline, it came, it was already in her life. Mm-hmm. It was there. It was given to her. But she didn't have to do anything before. Growing up, she didn't have to worry about it because that was her mom. And then learning, having to run it, I loved, like, you were reading her part of the story, and she goes into the kitchen, and I could actually picture myself in there because I felt like they were very descriptive. You could just feel her falling in love with the idea of opening up this bakery, and the girls could come downstairs and it would be just like it used to be before the war broke out. And so I felt like their relationship with the bakery really grew. Yeah. And really helped them become really strong, powerful women. Mm-hmm. And, and that's always a plus in my eyes. Show what we can do,
segue.
Right?
Man, she really segued that perfectly for me.
Booyah!
Because I
think I owe myself a cookie.
I know. I'm going to dive into my treat, too, so that all these glorious people watching the video can see me eat this croissant. It's going to be glorious, I can tell you.
I'm afraid to bite it right now.
Anyway, and plus anybody listening will be able to hear that. So my take was, I dove a little deeper on this take. And I was thinking that, neither path was better for either of them. But I took it to mean that the book was trying to tell us that baking, means something bigger to them. Just like reading means something bigger to all of us. And so the kind of how we started in the beginning of this podcast, we really kicked this podcast back up into gear, really kicked our reading back into gear because we wanted an escape. We wanted to go back to our stories, the storytelling. Just like people binge watch their favorite shows, it's so regardless of how anybody gets to anything that they're doing, whether it's baking, reading a book, does the reason why anything that anybody does change how much it matters to them? That was kind of like what I was thinking.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I totally agree. That is so true. I love that. Wow. We really blew that one out, though. It's hard because I wrote it all down in my book, in my journal, and now I have to remember.
Okay, here's the next question.
Okay, you get that croissant.
Oh, Lord. Oh, gosh, it's crispy just picking it up. Wait, listen to this.
Oh! Dude, you're throwing gluten everywhere. She's like, no, I'm just kidding. It was a powdered sugar.
But it came off of it.
It did. Yes, that is true. It's tainted. Anyways, the romantic heroes, Theo and Laurent, are very different men. What role do they play? Pray. We all need to do it. Do they play, it looks like an R. In our heroine's journey, do you think they hinder or help them in their quest? Do you need me to read that again?
Oh, good.
Is it good? Uh-huh. Okay. Don't mind us. We're professionals here. I know these are really good.
Oh, my chewing looks good.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that. Okay.
That's what she said.
So my answer is, I said no to both. So, to me, the men obviously were parts of the story, and they were both portrayed as really good men in their lives. But here's the thing, like, I am a crier. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
she is.
As evidenced by the last story we talked about, I didn't cry when Theo I didn't cry when T died, okay? And I thought about that for a bit, and I thought, why didn't I? Because he was a good man. Like, he was a good man.
He was.
So to me, I think that the men, while they were portrayed as part of the story, and same with Laurent, to me it felt that they were in some ways besides the point, and that's why I didn't cry. Because I think you again nailed it on the head with the prior question. I don't even think you realized it. I think that it was intentional. I mean, we should ask Aimie. But I think it was intentional. Like, was she intentionally trying to make the focus on the women? Because you had even said it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that we were watching the women grow. Mm-hmm. We were watching the women become more powerful throughout their stories. And yeah, the men were there. The men supported them. That's what we saw.
Yep.
But we saw the women grow.
Yeah.
They were strong and powerful throughout the story. So, I didn't think that they hindered. I thought that they did help them, but I don't think that they were like hugely impactful, because I didn't cry. I was obviously sad.
She is a crier.
I was sad, but I was more just like, she's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she's strong. She's a tough chick.
She could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do it. And they really did. I agree. So I had my hardest part of that question was that it started with the romantic heroes. Like, I never pictured them as romantic heroes.
And maybe that's why
I think that's why, so in a sense, I really do agree with Mandy on that, no to both, because I didn't find them to be considered romantic heroes. I did think that not so much Theo. I took Theo out of it. Because... Oh, no! Oh, yeah. She's always the first one. Don't run. We should have wore chocolate-covered shirts.
Dang it! I knew it! I shouldn't have dipped. For those listening, I dipped
You want to know what I was doing,
in
Mandy?
the chocolate and made a mess in my shirt.
I took the spoon and poured it on the cookie.
Well, that's dainty. I'm clearly not dainty. So,
okay.
Anyway, maybe I'll just fold it over
for the next one,
and nobody else see it.
You want a napkin to put over here?
I should have worn a garbage bag. Sorry if you hear a German Shepherd barking in the background.
My youngest and uncle are playing. Yeah, that's cute. I like it.
It's all good. Nothing happened.
You can't see anything. Okay, so anyways. So for me, I didn't look at Theo as a hero at all. I mean, he was a hero for the community and everything that he did, but not for Lisette. Mm-hmm. He freed her, I guess, so some people might agree that he could be a hero in that sense, but they fell in love. It wasn't freeing for it. Yeah, took her away from, being shackled to what she wasn't happy with. Yeah, but she's the one that traded in her ring. she's the one that stepped up and said,
Yep.
I'm going to do this.
Yep.
The creepy guy she had to get flour from, she was strong. She did what she needed. Oh my gosh, yeah. But with Laurent, I feel like we have to do a guttural, like, Laurent. Like, I don't know. But with Laurent, I felt like he was a different. Because for me, I felt like he pushed her. He encouraged her. Because she was so lost and
but not
scared.
too much.
Not too much. He was like, when they did separate, it was
Yep.
because she wasn't ready to commit to
Yep.
him yet. And he was willing to say, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna keep you from that. So for me, I felt more like if Laurent would have died, I may have actually been more upset
Probably, yeah.
than
Yeah.
Theo. Because I just felt like he played a bigger part
Yeah, makes sense.
in
I
where
agree with
Micheline was and where she came, because she was so lost. She didn't think she could do it. She didn't think she could. And it's not that he had to say yes, but sometimes we need that encouraging from our man. And so he was that different type of man
Yep.
that we do need.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I love it when my husband comes up to me and tells me, like, oh, no, you got this. You can do it, And I am grateful for that every day. So I do think it was different for me in the sense of I don't find them romantic heroes. But I did find Laurent to be a little bit more impactful with the story. So that was, okay.
Pierre, Sebastian, and Perrine play an important role in Lizette's acclimation to life in Montmartre. What are some of the lessons she learns from them? Do you think they are well-meaning and useful? How do these characters contribute to the overall message about friendship and community that the novel conveys?
So, for this one, I really liked Pierre Sebastian. Now, he was the priest.
Yep.
Or the, I don't know, was he a priest or just a pastor?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he was that role where he brought faith and everything into the community when everything's going on with World War I. And he was so wise and he was so helpful.
He tried to keep
and
things
everything.
positive.
He really tried to
as much
keep
as
things
possible.
and safe. Like,
Safe.
you can do this, but you have to be smart. And he just brought, instead of just running out there and going bam, like he brought that logical stuff into it as well. So I think Lisette really learned a lot from him. Perrine, I liked her. You knew she struggled. You knew she judged Lisette at first. She really struggled with Lisette. Because she grew up. Why would you want to leave this comfort and wealth and food and safety to come here? To literally hell.
Yeah.
And, with the loss of her baby, when you read that was really heart-wrenching. To find out. And it made more sense of why she was doing what she was doing. But their bond grew a lot. And I thought that was really huge for Lisette. Yeah. And I felt like once Lisette said, no, I'm not going back, she went back for a little bit, came back, and Perrine gave her way more. Like, wow, you did literally leave to be with Theo. Because I think Perrine loved Theo.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she really wanted to be with Theo and was hoping that Theo would feel the same. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt. Like, I felt like she was jealous.
I don't know.
You didn't feel like there was jealousy there?
I felt that that there was a love for him. Maybe not, like, from a jealousy perspective, but at least from, like, that he was, like, her family. And could she trust this woman, or is this woman gonna break his heart? Like, that was kind of how I
guess took it. That makes sense, more sense.
But I could see how it could.
But I just felt like it was just more of like, at first she was just like, she did not want you. She didn't like her at all.
She didn't like her at all.
So I do feel like they were very helpful. Pyrian did decide to help Lizette with meeting the creepy guy.
Yeah.
For Flower, and to find out that
the
creepy guy. Why do I keep calling him creepy?
He was so creepy.
But he was. I mean, that he was. Pyrian was his client, so
Yep.
I mean, there was.
Yep.
There was that.
Yep.
But I mean, in reality, when you're out there and you're trying to, when you're win back your baby, you know,
right?
You sit there and like, would you do it?
Right.
So I do feel that there were lots of lessons she learned from them. They were meaning and useful because she did use a lot of, she went to Pierre a lot. He married them. He became really this safe for her. And so I do feel like very helpful. How do characters contribute to the overall message about friendship and community that the novel conveys, that no matter where you come from and who you are, like, you look past those things and you can meet some of the greatest people that will stand by you forever.
Yeah.
I mean, she ended up marrying Pierre.
I know.
So, which I was really happy about.
I was happy about
about that.
I thought that was a very sweet ending. And then the fact that that gentleman that she was supposed to marry was willing, that he saw that the love she had for the bakery, and that he was like, you know what, you need to stay here. Like, this is your love. And that, I loved that as well. And then the fact that, she marries Pierre that was kind of the chef's kiss at the end.
Yeah.
And for me, the characters, just to kind of, sum up what Emily said and to just end it up, for me, the characters represented community friends that you welcome and that become a chosen family. So the feeling of belonging somewhere and having that connection. So
that's beautifully said.
That is what she ended up getting out of her little community there.
That's great. I mean, that goes for, like, me moving here. We moved away from our hometown where we grew up, and all my family, all my friends, everybody, for my husband and I, no one was here. And we met some amazing people that became a community and friends. And then
but it's harder around
some
here.
people leave, a lot of people move
stay around
and decide to go away.
Yeah.
And she knows who she is if she's watching this. But we're still friends and we still count on each other. We're still family. Our kids still love each other and we talk all the time. But then...
And she sends goodies.
She does. Peachy Ginger, check it out. But we also... but then the community can grow. Yeah. Like, Mandy decided that she needed to be closer. I convinced her to come closer, and so
and now we're
fun.
Up to shenanigans,
right? And now we're doing this, and
chocolate
she's
on my shirt. Oh, what is this
spilling
now?
chocolate. As you can tell, she is done snacking right now.
For future podcasts, I am never eating again,
or just not chocolate.
Oh my god!
Next one will be wine.
I can do that. Or espresso martini.
Oh. We are about coffee.
Oh. All right.
Oh, that sounds amazing right now.
What about the role of friendship in Micheline's story? What do you notice is different about the two women in this area in their lives?
Okay. So, the friendships in Micheline's story, she didn't really have much. She had friends. She went to the a different coffee shop, bakery place to meet up with those friends. But she was in such a different place than they were. And, everyone was dealing with loss in some way and trying to heal some way from everything that happened during World War II. And she just wasn't able to do that because she was so convinced Mom was coming back and they're going to keep looking and she's going to keep searching for her. There's no way she would just leave. And so she kind of pushed them away. In my sense, I just felt like she could not connect with them anymore at this moment. and she needed to really focus over here. So the only friendship that she ended up having for the whole story that she only allowed in was her mom's friend who paid for the schooling. She encouraged her to keep going. She encouraged her not to quit, to just keep doing this. And then Laurent, he really became her best friend in this story. So,
I have to segue into that now because my answer was, wow, how deep do we want to go here with this answer?
I know it could go really deep. I mean,
because as exactly what Emily just said is like, really with the previous question that we just answered with Lizette, you know, she worked to build a community. Mm-hmm. Exactly what we just talked about. But with Micheline, you know, to come behind Emily and sum it up, it basically shows the difference of the two sides, again, of a coin with friendships. And I think that's another thing I loved about this book, is it was showing you how, in one way, you had one character building a community starting fresh, and then in another way, you had one woman who started with a community, had a community, but was feeling tired, drained, emotionally distraught, broken down, shutting down, and was only really letting in minor people. And I think that really just shows how much you have to work at friendships.
Yeah. And I
think that's how you can go deep. I mean, again,
right?
Amy, did you intend that? I don't know.
Right? I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, I always tell my kids, and I tell people, it's not about the quantity of friends.
Yeah.
It's the quality of friendship.
Yeah.
And that there was like the big epitome. Like,
right.
That Lizette seemed to have a really good quantity, but she also had quality friends in that group. Yep. Micheline had learned that her friends,
right,
they just kind of did their thing. And so that quality of a friendship that she really needed were those two people that stayed.
Right.
And stuck by her that whole time. Not saying that they're not good friends.
She was struggling.
But
and, like,
she
this
was...
one guy tries to take advantage of her, tries to rape her. Yeah. Like, I mean, not that he was, like, a friend, but he, like, you know, like, just the one woman that she goes to try to see her all the time is like, get out of here. We are sick of seeing you every day. Like, you know, like, just, you know, be kind. You don't know what people are struggling with.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Okay, so, am I reading this or you?
Yeah, you can.
I am. What is the significance of the bakery being dark green? The author emphasizes the color several times. What are some possibilities for the surface level and deeper meanings of this choice? And I wrote down the definition of emerald.
I didn't even answer this one,
no,
but
she
I know
didn't,
my
see?
answer.
That would be a 0. I wrote down my answer, and I actually wrote down the definition because there is a lot to the dark green. So go ahead.
So from, like, basically, it's in the cover of the book, which obviously none of us would know until you're actually reading the book. But circling back to judging the book by the cover, when you actually get to the part of the book where you start to understand the color that the bakery is and why the bakery is that color, then it makes the cover of the book that much more special.
Yeah, like more meaningful.
And then you're like, okay, I like the cover of this book even more now.
Right.
You know, because you understand the reference. So, and it really all ties back to the gentleman that she was supposed to be betrothed to. He doesn't want his ring. He's pissed, and he chucks it in the fire, and Nanette scoops it out and ends up, you know, sneakily giving it to Lizette. And like Emily mentioned earlier, you know, it's Lizette's choice to sell that ring and turn that ring into her bakery, and that becomes her life. And so really that's the you know, the surface level, symbolism of it is that it represents, like, she wanted that to represent, like, I guess, like, I sold the ring, I sold what was gonna be, but what is now, like, she wanted to remember that, I guess. Is that what your take is?
Well, so, like, because she mentioned, I want to paint it green, and they wanted to name it after, like, and a lot of it was because, he didn't want to keep the ring, so they gave it to her. She took it, she did what she wanted with it. She didn't want to keep it. She didn't feel right to keep it. So there was a lot of that part to it that I felt like she wanted to kind of thank him. Yeah. Because it did give her the deeper meaning is,
how far she's come.
He was accepting the fact that, he didn't want to keep, like, Gaspard didn't want to keep her from what she really, truly wanted. Right. And so for him was like, don't give me this ring, throws it in the fire. Well, then Marie takes it out and she's like, I'm going to give it to you. He clearly didn't want it. Right. Because he did buy this for her. Yeah. Like, at first, Lisette thought, he didn't really want this for me. Like, he didn't go out and pick out a specific green emerald ring for me.
And he was a gentleman, throughout the book.
Yeah, he wasn't a douche.
He wasn't a douche. No, like, he saves her life. Then when he picks her up, he's like, well, she confesses to him that I sold your ring to make this bakery. And then
he's willing to take her wherever she wanted to go instead of stay there.
He wants to go, show me what you
and
built.
Raise the baby and do all this stuff as his own. And then when he finds out that she bought this and painted it green and named it this, and he was like, wow, okay, so there was more to, he wanted to make her happy. And so for me, it was really cool on how it showed her that he really did care, that she wanted, he just wanted her happy. And that she was capable of doing this on her own. She created this on her own with obviously just a few people. But ultimately she went out, she did this. And so then I looked up, because emerald green does have some deeper meaning to it as well, of wisdom, deep love, and prosperity and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe that's why Aimie picked the emerald green and the emerald for the book, for the ring that she got, because I mean, prosperity and wisdom and deep love. I mean,
that's good.
That's pretty deep. I was like, oh, see, when you're going into the deeper parts of that, okay, she must have been thinking, he did really care about her. It wasn't just, oh, here's this young 20-year-old, Yeah. So I thought that was really...
do authors dive this deep, or do we dive too deep? Like,
do they just, like, sit there and type it all up and thinking, and then we just go into a deeper meaning?
I don't know. We read, like, my husband and I read this more whimsical read, and it is more for younger audience. And at the end, we were like, that's it? Because we just wanted something to escape from, and, like, we wanted more. And then we read the reviews on it, and they were like, yes, adults want more. But this is how it's supposed to end. Because to a younger audience, they would be like, this is beautiful.
Right? And their attention spans are only so thick.
So that's why I wonder, is it us? Or is that her intention? Like, I think we need to get Aimie here.
Right? How fun would that be?
Lisette's mother had a change of heart. Why do you think that is? Do you think it was too abrupt, or does it serve a larger symbolic purpose?
So, my personal feelings was, I didn't really feel like she really had a huge change of heart. I feel like in the grand scheme she did, right?
Yes.
Because she came in and she was like, oh my gosh, like, she almost lost her daughter.
Yes.
She ran away, and, and the realization of probably, I could have lost her and that was it. Yes. I don't know what to do. So I felt like, really, was it though a change of heart? Because she still wanted her to marry Gaspard. She still wanted these
she was
things.
Still trying to push
she was
the
still
agenda.
trying to push the agenda on her.
Mm-hmm.
She was just being more like caring. I don't find it to be so loving.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how I would do it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have done it anyways, but I just feel like even in that time frame when that was the typical norm.
Right.
I don't know. I felt like if the story would have continued and Lizette would have stayed longer, I think there would have been even...
but eventually, they do end up supporting her
he does leave. When he does leave and she marries.
Yes,
but I just felt like... But I felt like she was always close
was...
with her dad, right?
Yeah.
She said that she's closer to her dad. So what part of this was really her just being like, well, we don't want to lose you again. Yes. You have this baby. She's our grandbaby. Yeah. Because here's what I want to know. Mm-hmm. Where did... And maybe I missed it. But where were they after? Like, we don't hear how much more involved they were to keep things going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, by the time Micheline was born, they were long gone. Right. But I just felt like you don't hear much. Right. Micheline doesn't know much about, like, you don't hear her saying, like, oh, yeah, originally, my great-grandmother comes from this really wealthy family and we have this. Because if they really were, where's the money?
Right, because wouldn't Micheline have had
Micheline had some kind of money?
Inheritance.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like, so I felt like there still was that, like, and maybe it was Lizette. Lizette was very strong. Yeah. Lizette was like, I'm going to do this myself. Mm-hmm. But you don't want, I don't know, like, when they died, wouldn't have she inherited money or something? Yeah. I don't know. I just, maybe, see, this is that deeper thinking that I kept thinking.
Sometimes we're too proud.
Yeah.
We're too proud. And I agree with you. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. And now my mind is...
See? You can go into different ways. Like, do other people feel the same way I do? Or do other people really feel like she did change?
Because I do think that her mom came to realize that she wants her child in her life versus not at all. So I think she did come to realize that. I think she realized she'd have to make some changes. I agree. She didn't really make immense changes in the beginning because she was still trying to push her agenda. It was always about the mom's agenda. And
the way it makes them look good.
What makes them look good. What she wants. And I think that is... I'm proud of Lizette. In a few of our other podcasts, there's been books that we've read where, I've voiced my opinion to say, I'm not sure what I would have done if I was in that situation. I can honestly say if I was Lizette in this situation, I would have gotten the heck out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
100%. Because, if you don't have a voice at the table, if people aren't willing to understand what you're going through or have empathy for you or make you feel like you're part of a family and it's just to push your agenda, that's not fair. Are you really a family then?
Right.
So I just think, I think, she did make some changes, but now you really have me questioning life because, why is Micheline poor?
Right.
Oh!
You gotta stop overthinking things sometimes.
We're overthinking. But because, does...
Like, cause I don't know.
I need to go back to the end of the book and double check it.
I was like, was there more?
I feel like they had mentioned they supported them, that they, but like maybe not to the
they did go and visit. Like, I know, like, I do remember that, but I just felt like, did she really
is that
have
we
a
don't
relationship?
Need to understand
why,
like what people. That's what empathy is. We don't have to understand people's story or their, like, what they're going through.
Just respect.
We just have to respect it, learn to compromise and come up with something that's comfortable. Mm-hmm. and it seemed like maybe they did, but now you have me questioning, like,
I don't know. Maybe
why
I'm
is
overthinking
Micheline
it.
poor?
I just
But
really
no, I
didn't
don't
like
know.
her mom. Maybe I'm just being judgy.
Okay, which pastry featured in the book would you most like to try?
Well,
I put all.
I mean, if I could, I would. And I was going to attempt to make a gluten-free
It's a cheater
version,
answer,
but
but
it is.
for real.
No, really. I mean, it all sounded
All of
amazing.
them?
Yeah, I agree.
Take me to Paris, and let's just, too bad, like, can we, like, make some major donations to, like, the celiac? Is there even a celiac donation? Like,
There
we
is
need
a
to give
foundation.
you, like, some injections so
Oh my
that
gosh,
you just
you're
go
so
to
funny.
Paris and just start.
So, they do make a pill and stuff that people say that, like, help gluten be digest, but I'm like, that's not for celiac patients, it's for gluten intolerant, sorry.
Darn.
But apparently the European flour is better than American.
Oh, well.
I mean, I can't have wheat, oat, barley, and rice, so I'm okay. I will go and drink all the coffee and espresso.
People watch, that's the
People
best.
watch, and I get macarons.
Yeah, there you go. That's good, too. What was your rating of the book?
So, when it started, I struggled.
I was confused initially out the gate because I forgot that it was from two different story perspectives, and then I'm like, oh crap.
And you know they're coming, they're related, but you don't know how they're related. So then you're sitting there like, okay, and then you're like, okay. It took me a little bit.
Yeah.
So then at first I was like, okay. And then as it was going on and you're getting pulled in and stuff, it went higher and higher and higher. So I did give it 5 stars.
I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it.
Because by the time I'm done, I'm like, okay, I kind of wanted to keep reading to see how things go
Where
with
does it
Lizette.
go?
I wanted to see Micheline. Like, I wanted to hear more about the wedding and where they go and their babies. And, like, you could have kept going.
Yeah.
It could have been a really long story.
I agree. It could have been. Like, you really get into the... Now we're talking about this person. Now we're talking about... I don't know. I really got into it. I liked the 2 perspectives. I also gave it 5 star.
Yeah.
So we would like to know what you all think as well. What are our next books that we're reading?
So the next book that we have picked...
The one you picked?
I did, is... it was on our Reese book club choice, and it is called The Paper Palace. So, you reading that one, Mandy?
I have started it. Yep, it's in process. It should be ready by the time we're ready to film that one.
Yeah.
And then...
So, in 2 weeks.
I'm also reading the book that I picked. I'll probably butcher the complete title of it. I think it's Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. Oh my gosh. It's really weird, but I'm actually really liking it. So I can't wait to see what Emily thinks about it.
It was one of those, like, cover books. You're judging it by the cover because it's so pretty, cool looking.
It's cute.
It's really cute.
It is. I was definitely one of those.
It's definitely not my typical go to the bookstore and grab because this is the type of story I like to read.
I'm really getting into the romanticities. Like, growing up, I was, like, the one who would read all the weird, like, Goosebumps and R.L. Stein's, and then my friend got me into, like, the romance books, and so now I feel like when I pick up a romanticy, even though it's not, like, a thriller, you're kind of mixing the weird characters and weird vibes, the interesting things happening with the romance, and I'm digging them. I can't wait to see what Emily thinks.
I've always been more of, like, the historical fiction. Growing up, I read Farmer Boy and Anne of Green Gables and stuff like that because my grandmother loved to read with me and I would read with her. But then I wasn't very much of a reader until I got into Jodi Picoult.
I read Flowers in the Attic when I was younger, and I'm like, now looking back, I'm like, why did my mom let me read that? I don't even remember. That was a weird book.
I mean, I did read some Nancy Drew back in the day, but then it's like, these are so aging us, aren't they? But I really got into Jodi Picoult. I really like her books.
Yeah, her books.
And then I did, like, some other ones, the typical 19, 20-year-old Twilight and stuff like that. But yeah, I've never been a huge fantasy reader. I really liked Iron Flame. That one was fun.
So we're going to sneak a few in on her.
Yeah, so she, I told her, I said, this is what I love, is that we're going to pick, and we really would like suggestions from you, what you would like to see us review if you're enjoying this. We'll eventually put out some polls too and
we'll do some other videos here and there too of like what are we looking forward to, some like releases coming out, or
because I'm reading another one on my Kindle, but it's a Kindle book only read.
Yeah, like
because you don't want to look at the cover.
It's not for you, mama. Like what are on the TBR? Like we'll talk about other things as well. We'll mix it up here and there with our videos. So. We're just grateful you're all here, and we're happy to have you. And we'd like for you to like, comment, and subscribe to us.
Yep.
And
we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.